We're jumping into the game here. Lest versus Botalz. Will CPV have 2 players go into the World Grand Prix? That's going to be quite interesting. Or will a Lone Ranger Lest be able to make it? There it is. It looks like Haven Sword versus Haven Shadow. We're going to be starting out with a Haven Shadow matchup here. Mid Shadow, I believe, against the Storm-ish Haven that Les is bringing. But let's take a look at the mulligans here.
That's right. So Les bringing, again, that Tempo Haven that is featuring a lot less amulets. It's still running Beast Call Aria, but we're not going to see the Divine Bird songs and, you know, the Pinion Prayers and things that we saw in the other decks. Just more straightforward with followers, and Botalz is bringing average run-of-the-mill mid-shadow. Aya, I know I've given you this deck to play. How do you feel like this plays against mid-shadow, this Tempo Haven list?
I think it has a pretty good chance against mid-shadow. It still runs all the things that mid-shadow doesn't like, which is banishment. Okay.
That's right.
It's got Priest of the Cudgel. It's got Black Inscriptions. So it runs all the stuff that Shadow doesn't like. It can take out those very key cards. And I don't know, it feels like a pretty comfortable matchup. I think it really comes down to just how sticky a board Botalz can actually manage to get.
Right.
Yeah, that's really what this boils down to. Snow White, incredibly good in this matchup, I feel.
Yep. So is Angel of the Word as an addition to Snow White to kind of help her presence, essentially, in the early game. Angel of the Word can come down and just help Snow White just clear out an entire board, which is awesome.
Yeah. So I remember the original change to Snow White, where everyone was like, oh man, they're not going to play that card anymore. And it's like, oh, well, we can just play Angel of the Word, and okay.
Yeah, still pretty good. Yeah, still gets the job done.
Yeah, definitely gets the job done.
And the reason why I really like this tempo version from Les is something that we've already talked about. Aether of the White Wing, I feel like, is probably the best Haven card now. I know it's a brand new card, but I think it's the best card that Haven's got in a long time. And not only that, I think it is actually just the best card because it allows you to really skimp on your late game. Meaning you don't have to play 3 ofs of everything in your high-end slots anymore like you used to, so that you can push damage. You just run the Aethers, and then you run whatever you want to finish the game out. And less cards of choice, which I agree with, are Moon Almirage and Taurus the Great.
Well, it's very interesting about Aether. Aether does something that Haven just didn't have, outside of maybe, I guess, Lion of the Golden City, I guess. But, and it is more than 1 for value. Like, outside of using amulets, Haven didn't really have that. Aether of the White Wing is such a flexible card, it actually gives Haven more options to be able to do that type of stuff. And in my opinion, that is amazing. And that's why I agree with your assessment that that's just the best thing that they've got in a very long.
Yeah. And so one play I actually want to point out this game that's kind of interesting to me, didn't get lucky with that Snow White pull there, was that Les decided not to use Angel of the Word and Snow White to clear up a lot of the board last turn and opted to take a bunch of damage because he knew Priest of the Cudgel was going to come down and kind of do a lot of the work that he wanted to do. He didn't want that Bone Chimera to pop and get any value, which Priest of the Cudgel handled. And in doing so, kind of cements not giving Botalz a really big board going into his next turns and denying more shadows.
Right. So Dark Blade Fiend, which is going to kill this Priest of the Cudgel because of its effect. I actually really like this card, by the way. This is one of the cooler cards that, it's one of the coolest cards that Shadow got. And it has completely replaced Cerberus. Like, we were seeing Cerberus everywhere. You know, Cerberus, you know, Cerberus, blah, blah, blah. We're not seeing it anywhere now. Like, I mean, we saw, I believe, Akamara Red played one of it yesterday.
It's good if you want to play later in the game, but like Blade Fiend A has way bigger stats than Cerberus, and B you get the good effect from Cerberus without using an additional card or an additional play point, and it happens on the same turn. So you basically get what Cerberus is, all built into one card without any extra play points, which is awesome.
Right. Now this is a feels bad Evo. Having to evo into that big Blade Fiend. With no, I kind of dragged that a little bit. But
I kind of would have opted to go with Moonall Evo there instead of what he did because it still would have allowed him to have presence. Oh,
well,
never
he
mind.
can't play
That's right. He was
Moonall.
on 5.
Yeah.
He was on 5.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's okay,
This Ancient Lion Spirit looks super awkward right now.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to play Ancient Lion Spirit right now. I mean,
But do you? You know what I mean? Because this is turn 6. This is right before Ektar. Do you kind of just want to gamble, maybe?
Well, he doesn't necessarily have to gamble too much. He does have a Black Inscription there.
He does have a script.
Yeah,
but he won't be able to play the Lion Spirit behind it, so...
No, he won't, but he can take off a significant amount of damage by playing that scripture. If he wants, he can opt to trade, but that's gambly too. Like, this is hard.
This double lurching corpse play is weird. Yeah, it's really hard to play around. Okay, so Lest opting for the script, which means probably Angel of the Word into an evolve.
Okay. All right. I'm not. Oh, he actually opted not to evo. I'm not against that.
I'm not against.
I'm actually not.
So here's something that we need to talk about. So Botalz is running a mid shadow deck that doesn't run Thane. In slot of the 2 Thanes, he's running Mordekai's as a definitive answer to other control decks, which I find very interesting for this tournament and realistically seems like the right call.
Well, considering that, if you look at what happened yesterday, the sheer amount of control blood that we saw,
right?
Playing Mordecai does not sound like a bad idea. You know what I mean? Like, it seems pretty good.
So here we see the gamble, and not so much of a gamble because I don't think you really care which one dies here. I guess with the Heavenly Hound, maybe you wanted the Tiger to die here, but not a huge deal. Maybe would you have played the Heavenly Hound first?
I think I would have played it first and just gambled.
Yeah, I think I like that gamble.
Gambling, right?
Right.
Because you're already gambling. At the least that way you'd be gambling with the potential ward to protect your other guy.
Well, what I'm saying is play the Heavenly Hound. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Because you would have gotten the value immediately, and then you really don't care what dies at that point.
Exactly. You still would have just protected what the other card was. And if it ended up being the Heavenly Hound, you still had 2 big guys in play.
Right.
That's what
so now this is the point in the game where Les just has to try to push face damage before this Mordecai can get into some sort of a lethal range.
And Mordecai is just gonna come back and this hit can't be taken. Okay.
Yeah, this is a crazy play here. So this allows Mordecai to attack again this turn because it gains rush after sacking it with Soul Conversion.
Can we just point out how disgusting that is?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Pretty disgusting. Mordecai and Ektar on the board. Together.
And this is just lights out.
Yeah. This is GG, bro. This is GG.
All you got left is some cards that don't do enough here. No Taurus the Greats being drawn. No Aether of the White Wings being drawn. And this is kind of like the thought that I had with not having Cleric Lancers in the deck. So Ancient Lion Spirit can be very good, and we saw it used to good effect here. But without Cleric Lancer kind of does the same thing because you have to run a bunch of things into it without using an Evo point, and it just, I don't know. It feels weird to not play that card. But of course, less teching for very specific matchups.
It does seem weird. But unfortunately, it looked like, in what you just said, he was teching for specific magic. It looks like that he just didn't get enough of what he needed at all. He just kind of stalled towards the end, and it feels pretty bad. It's pretty depressing to see, especially when you're this close. Okay, this close. He was literally at the edge of just going, and then he lost, and then it just feels bad.
Yep, just ran out of steam. That's what happens when you don't play a lot of card draw in your deck. Like, a lot of the decks now have a ton of card draw in them, and if you don't play enough, sometimes you just don't have anything left to do at the end of the game.
Yep. Gas was out.
Gasolina.
Anyway,
so let's playing mid sword against Seraph. I don't know about this matchup. I feel like Midsword has kind of a hard time.
Yeah, Midsword has a very difficult time in this matchup. The Botalz can just be like, okay, you know what? You play a card, all right, move it. Play a card, I heal out some damage. Play a card, I have a ward. It's just he just has a ton of things that he can do to stave off damage. Not only that, but of course we know that board wipes are Sword's greatest enemy, and Midsword specifically because it doesn't run a lot of Storm in comparison to the
it does a really good job of playing one thing a turn, which Haven is really good at dealing with. Now, the one thing I will say is that Albert is actually a lot more potent in this matchup now that the new streamlined version of Seraph took out the Tribunals in order to fetch the Seraph more consistently. So Albert actually becomes a very huge threat that Haven has a really hard time dealing with.
That is fair. That is fair.
However, being on the play means Themis is an answer now. So realistically, the play order really matters if you don't have Tribunals in your deck.
Well, we see that he can definitely play Geno and push face if he wants. Of course, this does leave him open to the Priest of the Cudgel that we see in Botalz' hand, but can you really afford to not do that?
Right. Priest of
I
the
think
Cudgel
you really need to push.
Doing work in all these matchups so far. Like this one will get around a pump from Bladed Hedgehog to essentially just give Priest of the Cudgel one more toughness than it would naturally have if the Evo turn would have happened with any other card. So Priest of the Cudgel's still good, guys.
Well, I don't think Priest of the Cudgel will ever be in a position where it's not good. Sure. It may not be like optimal, but I don't think it'll ever be in a position where it's just, you know what, Priest of the Cudgel, bad card, never run it.
That's the reason I said the play that I did. I didn't think Les was going to Evo there. Maybe he just feels like he needs to get some points of damage in early. Is really the only thing I can think of. Maybe he plans to play Albert with an Evo next turn. Actually, is probably the reasoning behind that, and just try to stick it to him because he's got a ton of damage with those two cards, but he doesn't really have follow up to it. So that plan kind of seems a little odd to me.
Well, we can see Botalz. You can see the weight on Botalz' shoulders right now, and Les has the blankest face he could possibly.
Yeah, mouth open, blank stare. This is zombie Les right here.
Like, yeah, he's like, you know what, man? I just want to win. Want to get my W. And
I gotta say, I love having cams for these tournaments. It's the best.
Agreed.
All of you guys get to see the players, get more used to them, and then we get to say funny stuff about them.
Yeah. Yep. We get to go, you know what? Botalz, he's biting his nails right now. And we can literally see that he's biting his nails.
That's right.
I love it.
He's like, yeah, I'm doing the right things. Yeah, this is good. All right, so it looks like Les isn't going with the Albert play here, which makes the last turn a little bit weird to me. But getting the damage in is never bad. Again, you gotta get there at some point.
I mean, I'm pretty sure this is a Themis.
Yeah, this is a pretty easy Themis. You've got 3 in your hand. You're not really worried about throwing any of them away. The one thing that we don't see in Botalz' hand yet is a Seraph, though, and actually he doesn't have a globe to fetch it either. So he might be a little slow on the Seraph front. Sure. I mean, that's definitely possible.
Yeah. No fetch for you, bro. You gotta dig. Now, Les could be like, you know what? I'm gonna play this Lux. I'm gonna draw some cards, and you know, just kind of try to go that way and just kind of risk it. I don't know if that's necessarily right, but
well, I wouldn't call that risking. That's just more card advantage. I mean, the only other play here this turn that even makes sense is playing out the Geno with Enhance just to be protected against removal. But of course, against Haven, you can always get banished. Right, exactly. So
right.
I think I would just opt for a Lux plus Veteran Lancer here. I think that's a fine play this turn. Sets you up for next turn to possibly draw into your late game, which is nice.
The one thing about fighting Seraph is that sometimes you know that you're on a clock, right? You know that turn 8 is when the Seraph is coming down. What you do on turn 7 determines whether or not that Seraph comes down on 8.
Right. Absolutely
Because
correct.
once
And I'm gonna say it being on the draw makes it a little bit harder for Sword too, because it just means that much further away from the Albert turn that you want.
right, so he's going Alberto.
Oh wow.
And you know what? And I'm not sure about the Evo, but hey, he's jamming face.
I do not like this play whatsoever. Reason being is because this is turn 7 for Botalz, not turn 8. So he has time to deal with this before he plays the Seraph.
That's what makes it a little, weird for me. I don't know about that Evo. I would not have done that.
In my opinion, I think Les wasted 2 of his Evos this game.
Yeah.
And threw away his late game.
Yeah, I think that might come back to bite him.
Because now what does he do to pressure Seraph?
Yeah, you know what it felt like? It felt desperate.
Yeah.
Gotta do something. Gotta do it now. Can't wait. Probably should have waited.
Like, the double-edged sword of that play, too, is that Botalz, as we know, doesn't have Seraph yet, but Lest gave away one of his Alberts and all of his Evo points, so he doesn't really have a big way to kind of just crush damage in the late game anymore. So he's going to have to play really fair against this Seraph list, which might give Botalz plenty of time to get his Seraph down.
Right. Okay, so he's just going to play everything. And this is, of course, going to crash right into Athena's.
Let's start feeling like he lost.
Yeah. Oh, he's not playing Themis at all. Oh, right, he has the Star Torrent. He can Star Torrent and wipe away. Yeah. Oh, he's not playing the Star Torrent either. Ooh, we got the Seraph, though.
Got the Seraph.
So he can play the Red Hot Boots.
Yeah, this will be 1 turn later. So Seraph will come down on turn 9. And then he'll be able to crack it the next turn with the double Dogma and Healing Prayer and or Star Torrent. And like I said, without Albert in hand and Botalz being at 17, Lest doesn't really have anything to do here.
Yeah, I think Lest is now realizing the gravity of what he did.
Yeah.
I think he's now thinking, I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yep. So now, let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, actually, that did prevent Seraph from being played.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has exact lethal next turn with Albert, so Seraph actually can't be played this turn. But that doesn't mean that Botalz is losing. He feels the pressure because he can't play Seraph right here, but realistically, a Themis' Decree on top of a Star Torrent, fine.
Yeah, it's just nice board, bro. Be ashamed if something happened to it. Gone.
Doesn't even really need to Themis, but like if you want a full clear board, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, I think I would just Themis. I mean, you still got 1 in hand, and you can definitely get rid of the tokens that Gino leaves behind. May as well.
However, with the Red Hot Boots, if you get lucky, well, actually, you don't even need to get lucky. It will kill something.
Have to get lucky.
Star right now. Yeah.
Actually, yeah, he could just Star Torrent. You're right. He could just Star Torrent and it would kill. Oh no, that's not true.
He could even Acolytes Light this Gino, and then Star Torrent, and then clear board.
That's also true. Okay, he's going with the thing. Okay.
Yeah, either way kind of gets you to the same place.
Yep.
Goes with the Healing Prayer, that works too.
I don't hate that play. I definitely don't hate that play. This again puts him further out of reach.
Unless it's just gonna be like, hey, either look at my Albert or look at these 2 Quick Bladers that I'm adding to the board. hot business.
Yep, obviously. I don't really see. I don't know. Botalz has played this game really well. I don't really know how Lests win this match. Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of it.
Albert this turn will put him down to 10, which technically means that if there is yet another Albert in hand, there is lethal in play again, just barely, unless. Never mind. That did the lucky roll, so now Seraph is an act. Okay, he's just playing it super safe.
I don't blame him. Like, you have to play safe against Sword. You got to.
However, the longer this game goes, gives more opportunities for Les to push those extra points of damage to just keep pushing you off that Seraph turn. The longer that Seraph turn gets pushed off, the more chance Les has to win this game. So this isn't over by any means yet.
This is rough. Okay. Now, Botalz he did a little bit of a dance there. There's a tribunal.
Oh, he is playing Tribunal. I missed that. Okay.
It's all good, man. We all miss things. We all miss them. Anyway.
We saw Botalz, like, you know, give the double fist pump, as in, like, he knew exactly what was going down.
Yeah. Now, him taking out those two Tajis prevents a top deck Albert from being lethal.
Right.
And he didn't draw that. So, yeah.
Right. This will actually speak Doom now. And Statue Seraph can come down because a Stormfaller was not drawn for less. Say something like a Novice Trooper even was drawn this turn. Again, might prevent a Seraph from being played. So,
yep. Get it out of here.
Now you just
There it
trade, go
is.
face, and yeah, that's it. Don't even need to go face. I want to see the no attack from Botalz right here.
Oh boy, please, really?
No, I mean, this attack, the Priest of the Cudgel, like, why even attack face with it?
Yeah, well, right.
Oh,
Yeah.
Botalz, come on.
Don't do that, Botalz. Come on, Botalz.
Realistically, he does have some extra time. He doesn't have immediate countdown anymore because he had to use it previously. So Healing Prayer is the only thing that's actually actively in hand. But honestly, I mean, he's got the removal to sit behind it. Yeah.
Yep.
There's one closer.
Yeah, well, no, this game.
Well, he needs one more countdown, right? Or no, he
No, this
used
is
one at
game.
the end of last. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on,
okay,
XO.
so Bottom taking it. Less out.
There it is, Seraph with the killing blow and Botalz with his signature special move, defeating you with the Instatued Seraph. We saw all of them, and it was Renascent. It was Instatued, Awakened, Renascent, Lapis, Win.
Or is it Renaissance?
Right. Okay. Okay. Hey,